We have got a massive Chelsea transfer roundup today, and trust me, things are getting absolutely wild. Today we are breaking down how Rayo Vallecano is trying to completely rinse us for £42 million, and it's a sensational, mind-blowing return actually on the cards. Why signing this elite Porto keeper makes zero sense for our future. Our Cuban boy is practically on the fly to Italy as Fabregas and Como closing. We have a lot of ground to cover, but before we dive into it, if you are new here, welcome to the channel. But if you have been following me for a while, you know the drills. Help your boy get to that 10k subscriber mark. Let's dive into it. Alright, let's dive straight into this Pep Chavarría drama. Because honestly, I'm losing my mind on how Rayo Vallecano is trying to rinse us here. We have been wondering why the news on this deal has gone completely cold. And now we finally have our answer. Rayo Vallecano is playing absolute mind game with us. HIJACK and Salah dropped earlier. Chelsea has been told Rayo Vallecano will not sell fullback Pep Chavarría unless his release clause, now worth £42.4 million, is met. The Blues initially felt they had the encouragement to pursue a deal, but saw an opening £15 million bid rejected. They have since then indicated they are prepared to increase their offer to £21.2 million, although that remains way short of Rayo Vallecano valuation. Let's break down how crazy this is. Rayo Vallecano record sale in their entire history is £8.4 million. That's the absolute ceiling. So we started things off by offering them £50 million for Chavarría, because we were basically given the green light and told that would be more than enough to get the deal done. But of course, they immediately moved the goalpost. Suddenly, they reject the £50 million and tells us the new release clause is £21.2 million. Fine, we want to back the manager. We signal that we want to match that £21.2 million valuation. But now we have heard they have jacked the price up again, demanding a massive £42.4 million. What are they actually playing at? And the justification they are using to back up this price tag is even more hilarious. HIJACK and Salah explained the logic from their side. Rayo Vallecano believe their asking price is justified despite the 28-year-old having spent much of his career in Spanish second tier. Club sources argue Chavarría underlining statistics means he played at a similar level to Marco Correa, who Chelsea sold to Real Madrid for £51.8 million last month, and believe Chelsea head coach Xabi Alonso is driving the interest. Senda's impressive display against his then Real Madrid side last November. I mean, you have to have a laugh. They are seriously trying to argue that this 28-year-old who spent vast majority of his career kicking ball in Spanish second division has some decent underlying data. Suddenly, is now worth £42.4 million. They are literally trying to use the fact that we sold Correa to Madrid for £51.8 million last month to justify charging us premium Premier League prices. Look, I get it. Xabi Alonso is apparently driving this interest. He saw Chavarría put in a massive performance against his Real Madrid side back in November, and is convinced this guy fits his system. I love Xabi. I want nothing more than to back his vision for the squad. But I think even the most loyal fan has to admit this has crossed the line into being completely silly. Paying £42.4 million for a 28-year-old late bloomer, it's not smart business, especially when it's barely a stone throw away from what we just got for Correa. Personally, I think it's time we put the pen down, walk away from the negotiating table, and move on to different targets. We can't let clubs treat us like an open checkbook anymore. And this one is a massive goalkeeper rumor that has a lot of people talking. According to a report out of Portugal, we are supposedly looking at a huge move to bring in Porto's captain. And here is exactly what is being reported. Chelsea are ready to begin talks with FC Porto over a transfer for Diogo Costa. However, they have no intention of triggering Diogo Costa's £60 million release clause. €60 million release clause. Chelsea value the Portugal international around €40 million. President Andrés Villas-Boas has no intention of reducing the asking price, with PSG and Munich also interested. Now look, if you watch Diogo Costa, you know the guy is an absolute elite goalkeeper. He has proven it at Porto. His performance for Portugal on big stages are top tier. He's an undeniable upgrade on Robert Sanchez in terms of raw world-class talent. But I'm telling you for a fact, this move is not happening. And honestly, it shouldn't happen, because it makes absolutely no sense for our squad planning. First of all, we have Sanchez, but more importantly, we have Mike Penders. The board and the academy staff view Penders as an absolute future of Chelsea goal. He's highly rated and has massive potential. And bringing in an elite established 26 years old goalkeeper like Costa on a long-term contract is going to completely block Penda's pathway to the first team. Why spend 40 or the 60 million pounds that Villas-Boas is demanding just to stunt the growth of our elite young goalkeeper? It is counterproductive to everything we have been building under Xabi Alonso. We need to trust the pathway we have built, rely on the current option, and let Mike Pendas grow into the player we know he can be. Paying crazy money for Diogo Costa is a luxury we don't need, and it's a distraction we should completely ignore. Now let's talk about an absolute bombshell rumor that has just surfaced. And honestly, I don't even know how to feel about this one. We're talking about a potential sensational return of one of the Premier League greatest ever wingers. According to On Time Sports, which is a massive TV channel in Egypt, there is nothing between Chelsea and Salah. But if Chelsea were to make an offer, Salah has told his friend that he would be open to making a return, and Chelsea would be the only English team he would do that for. I mean, take a minute and let that sink in. The Egyptian king, who got his first taste of Premier League football with us back in 2014, is reportedly keeping the door open to coming back to Stamford Bridge. And not just that, we are apparently the only club in England he's considering playing for. But let's be completely real here. As much as I would love to see Salah back in the terrorizing left back under Xabi Alonso, we have to look at this logically. First of all, what are the chances we actually offer him a reasonable contract? Our wage structure and transfer strategy is now completely geared towards young and upcoming talents on highly incentive-based deal. Salah is 34, a global superstar, and even on a free transfer, his wage demand is going to be astronomical. It just doesn't fit the blueprint of what the board is building. Because of that, I think most of us can admit that this smells like another classic baseless transfer rumor. With Salah looking for his big move, whether it's a massive payday in the Saudi Pro League, a superstar landing in MLS, or a giant in Europe, using our name is the oldest trick in the agent's playbook to build leverage and get media heads turning. It's a beautiful dream, but Ole Salah is willing to take a massive pay cut just for the vibes. And the chances to correct his history at Chelsea, I don't see this happening to me. Now let's get straight into the Trevoh Chalobah saga, because depending on when this video drops, he might already be on a flight to Italy. And it's incredibly moving fast now. I have to admit, I genuinely wish there is a way we could keep him. He's a proper Cobham graduate, he plays with his heart on his sleeve, and he has put in some massive shift for us. But if he's heading out of the door, we have to ensure we bring in a better top-tier defender to replace him. Let's look at how this negotiation has played out in the last few days. Starting with Simon Johnson update from The Athletic. Como are still in negotiation with Chelsea over defender Trevoh Chalobah. They have had 2 bids turned down. Chelsea are looking for a total sum of £35 million. Initially, we are holding completely firm on that £35 million valuation. We know Trev is a quality asset, and in today's market, we weren't just about to give him away to the first bidder, especially with other Italian clubs like Inter Milan sniffing around. But Cesc Fabregas and Como has been incredibly persistent. They really want their man, and they have been pushing hard to bridge the gap. And that brings us to the massive breaking news that dropped from Italy. Trevoh Chalobah to Como is close. The fee is around £29.5 million, including bonuses. Details are to be defined, and a further meeting is scheduled to complete the operation. So it looks like we have compromised slightly on the base fee to structure a deal worth £29.5 million plus add-ons. Honestly, for a player who we have been open-minded to selling, getting nearly £30 million of pure profits from the books is a great business, even if it hurts to see one of our own leave. And if you needed more confirmation, this is the final stage. The Mariazzo essentially stamped on it. Como is ready to close the deal for Trevoh Chalobah. The meeting between the parties is expected to finalize the last agreement. When the Mariazzo says they are ready to close and finalize, you know the contracts are being drafted as we speak. It's happening. Personally, I'm torn. On one hand, Trevoh Chalobah has been a reliable, versatile squad player who has never complained and always stepped up in big games. On the other hand, if we are going to compete at the very top with Xabi Alonso, we need elite, world-class consistency in our defensive rotation. Selling Chalobah for nearly £30 million gives us a perfect financial ammunition to a truly elite, area-dominant and bubbling centre-back who can fit Alonso's tactical blueprint like a glove. I wish Trevoh Chalobah nothing but the absolute best under Cesc Fabregas in Italy. He deserves to be starting week in, week out, but the pressure is firmly on our board to turn this fear around and upgrade our defense. Now hold on to your hat, because this last story is a total transfer window hijack plot which came completely out of the left. If you love us signing the absolute best young talents on the planet, you are going to love this. According to a brand new report from the local Bosnia outlets, Kerim Alajbegović, a top talent, is a subject of interest from Xabi Alonso and Chelsea, and his transfer at Atalanta has now been put on hold. I can't lie, I've never heard of this player's name until this link officially dropped earlier. All I've heard is non-stop praise for him. And once you actually look at his profile, you can see why the board and Xabi Alonso are completely obsessed. Kerim Alajbegović is a left-sided attacking winger who is incredibly comfortable, cutting onto his stronger foot and driving directly at defenders from wide areas. It's exactly that raw directness that made him one of Europe's most talked about breakout stars of this year. And the numbers completely back up the eye test. He put up an incredible 9 goals in 29 appearances on loan from Salzburg this season, which was enough to convince his parents' club, Bayer Leverkusen, to trigger their 8 million buyback clause immediately on July 1st. He then carried that red-hot form straight into the 2026 World Cup with Bosnia. He literally played every single minute of their historic run on the global stage and scored a spectacular solo goal against Qatar. That is genuine composure, an elite end product delivered on the biggest stage of football. And he did it at just 18 years old. What stands out beyond his finishing is his willingness to take defenders on and create something out of nothing. He's a genuine 1v1 threat rather than someone who just plays it safe and passes backward. Born in Cologne to Bosnia parents, typical of a German academy upbringing, blended with a real attacking instinct. At 18, he's still raw in sports, but the profile, direct, two-footed comfort, and a proven big tournament temperament is exactly the kind of incredible high-ceiling Europe top talent are cycling for. Atalanta thought they had a 25 million euros deal wrapped up. But if Xabi Alonso is personally calling to drive our interest, we know we have a massive chance to bring this wonderkid to Stamford Bridge. I'll say let's hijack it, let's get him. And with that said, that's the end of the video, my friends. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.